Welcome to Cats and Rats Podcast, covering your Florida Panthers.
Hey everyone, welcome to the newest episode of the Cats and Rats Podcast, episode 49. I'm your host, Kirby Lupo, joined alongside my co-hosts, as always, Cody Stevens and Nick Levine. Gentlemen, the Florida Panthers are going back to the Eastern Conference Final for the third straight year. We just finished our Twitter X pregame show, and we're going to be facing off here against the Carolina Hurricanes. But before we talk about them, who do we got to talk about here, guys?
Ooh, I know.
Who?
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
You raised your hand. I really like that, Nick. If you guys aren't watching our YouTube channel right now, your spelling before off the air was a little atrocious, but I really like that.
Grammatic.
Now your marks are going back up in the Florida Panthers.
Okay, yeah. You want to? What do you call the Italian dish? Do you put sauce on? Pasta, not pasta.
Oh, okay.
Pasta.
Okay.
Anyway, we're not going to go there.
No, but
Yeah, the Florida Panthers beat Toronto in Game 7. A big victory.
Just as Leaf Nation
6-1,
said would happen, right?
right? And if 1-6-1 loss wasn't enough, a second one might be for the Toronto faithful. But we obviously talked a lot about that on After Dark in our post-game show about the Maple Leafs. But we had a lot to go through with our top 5 list here and our X factors and our picks. But is there anything
on
recap here?
eulogy?
I mean, with this
they already
series,
wrote their eulogy after Game 5.
well, I mean, with this series, the Panthers showed their resiliency. I mean, being down 2-0 in a series and winning it, like I saw like some stat where if you're down 2-0 in a series and you force a Game 7, I think the Game 7, those teams were winless. And you know, with Paul Maurice being now undefeated once again in another Game 7.
Yeah,
Sergei,
Nick was giving them too many wins there the other night on the post-game show.
you think he's at what, 5-6 now?
Nick thought he was
I
tied.
thought it was 9-0. I think that's Pete DeBoer.
That's
So,
the
I
board.
mean,
You gave him Pete DeBoer numbers.
So
But still
but-
pretty-
But hey, with Kirby like this, that Sergei Bobrovsky now improves to 3-0 in Game 7s now.
okay.
So, but anyway, but the Panthers have broken another franchise, ending another era.
I thought the Leafs were playing for home ice. That didn't work out too well.
Now, when the Panthers are one of the better road playoff teams in recent memory,
You can't give away games 5 and 7 like that with home ice. You just
that
Yeah.
outscored 12-2 in those.
I mean, the
games.
last 4 games of the series, Kirby, they scored a combined 4 goals.
and I will give them 10 good minutes of hockey in those 2 games, Game 5 and Game 7. 10 minutes of the first.
And all those minutes came in Game 7.
But they talked about it. Shout out to our boy Caesar giving us a shout on the Spitting Chicklets podcast episode. I was listening to it before Caesar's appearance, but everyone check it out. He's on the end of the episode. But the beginning, Biz was talking about like 25-0 shot attempts. Couldn't even get it out of his mouth. I'm like, that is not a good start.
20. And you know what the sad thing was? None of those scoring chances were even kind of like remotely good.
No, we could have been even better. But that's a stat that I'm going to remember forever from that.
Like 25
to nothing.
to nothing.
It's a game.
And you know what's funny? I get kind of nervous like once you hit that 10-minute mark and your goalie hasn't seen a puck yet.
Or if you have 25 shot attempts and you haven't buried one.
Yeah.
Kind of
Like,
like,
It's
What's
like,
most
oh, well, it's like you start to get the feeling that, oh, no, they're going to score like on their first shot or whatever. And their first shot was a prime chance. William Nylander out in front.
if
but-
Bob doesn't have that first period in Game 7, guys, I don't care what anyone says. We're down 2 or 3-0.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to say Bob won us Game 7, even though it's crazy to say that. When you look at the final score, you have to look at that first period. Us leaving that first period 0-0 would usually be a win for us, Cody, but I didn't feel it was a win for us because Toronto's like, okay, we survived that. Oh, wow, the score's still 0-0. I don't know what the hell happened to Toronto after that.
Like the thing is like as a home team, you shouldn't be surviving a first period.
But they had to feel like that with the onslaught of the Panthers in those first 10 minutes.
And the one thing I think was very
Second period.
and the one thing that was very amplified in this series, Toronto struggled mightily with the long change in the second period. Mightily. Like you go and look at
They
this
gave
series.
them Game 1 on the long change, didn't we?
Did we? No, they scored like 3 of their goals in the first.
Well, the change with Belinkus, that wasn't the long change.
No, that was the third period.
Okay, that's even worse then. Okay.
We won the series, Kirby.
One penalty in Game 7, gentlemen.
It was a
It
2
wasn't
minute
by
on the ice.
Too many men on the ice by Toronto. Is that how this next series will be officiated? Because if it is, I think that favors Florida.
Oh, good. I don't want to see our power play after that fucking showing.
I don't really want to see our.
I don't even know what our strategy is on our power play.
But then,
Pray.
if we
We
make
go
the
out
Stanley
there
Cup,
and we go out there and we hope the puck goes in somehow,
But-
some way.
if we make the Stanley Cup final, we're going to have to see our power play against Edmonton or Dallas.
But we got to
Your
review
penalty kill against
this
Edmonton or
series.
Dallas.
Yes.
We have with our top 5 list, and I get to pick who goes first, who we're going to judge first.
Okay.
I'm picking Nick.
What a
So-
surprise.
What do you got
So-
to say there on Nick?
So this is for our audio listeners. Nick's top 5 was at number 1, Sam Reinhart. Number 2, Brad Marchand. Number 3, Alexander Barkov. Number 4, William Nylander. Number 5, Sergei Bobrovsky. Honorable mentions to Anton Lindell and Sam Bennett. His X factors were Bobby McMahon and Eetu Luosterainen.
I almost went Pacioretty. Wouldn't that have been something if I got those
But-
two?
I mean,
Oh,
off,
Reinhardt number 1, no. So you
off-
went to the well twice there, Nick, because you had Reinhardt last
off
round.
first glance, Nick is probably at 5.
5 points. So so Marchand at number 2, he gets a point there. That's fair.
Like if you want, then I have Nylander at 4. I think that's also another point.
That's a
So-
point.
so
Nylander was higher than that, but I still would have given him a point because we've got to remember he's on the other team.
And then the honorable mentions, I do think he gets like a point there too.
I don't know if I'm giving him a point at Bob at 5. Are you giving a point with Barkov at 3?
No,
I think
Okay.
I should get a point with Bob at 5.
I don't think you should.
Because you went safe there.
I
and then
think you should get minus points.
you roasted him. You roasted him.
Well, yeah, and then he bounced back. So
I think you should get
out.
I think you should get a minus point.
there's
'cause
no
I don't
minus
even-
points here.
I don't think Bob was even top 10 in this series, but
So 2 in his top 5 you're giving him.
yeah. And then Lindell Bennett.
How do you feel on that?
I feel like Arnold Mendes should be half a point because you were ballsy enough to put him in the top 5.
But it was Lundell and Bennett like the 6th, 7th best players in the series?
I think Bennett was.
Bennett was. Okay.
Lundell.
Be there. McMahon and Luosterainen, I don't love that for X Factors.
I mean,
What do you want me to pick?
I don't love their performance. I don't
well,
care if that you pick them. You can pick whatever
You
you
didn't,
want
you didn't like Lusto's?
You didn't like Luosterainen's performance.
for an X Factor.
I mean, he did.
I
score
know the
two-
last memory of Game 7.
He scored 2 goals in this series.
But he's coming off that Tampa Bay series. That is like check mark easily, which Cody laughed at having him anywhere near that list in the Tampa series.
I laughed at having him in the top 5.
But Lusto was way better in the Tampa series.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm at 4 or 5.
I'm at closer to like 3 to 4. So give him 3.5.
I'll push it to 4.
4. Ooh, he's helping you out there, Nick.
All right.
Okay.
4.
I won't help you out.
Write it down, Nick. Write it down.
4 for Nick there.
Okay.
And we're gonna go with mine here. Like
Nick, jump in, Nick.
All right.
I have for audio list, I had 1 Alexander Barkov, 2 Carter Verhaeghe, 3 Seth Jones, 4 John Tavares, 5 Brad Marchand. Our mentions I had Matthew Tkachuk and Matthew Nyes, and my X factors were Scott Laughton and Mackie Semiskevich.
Barkov is no point for number 1. Verhaeghe, not a point for number 2. Jones, I'll give you number 3. Big check mark there. Tavares, I don't think he was anywhere close.
He
Especially
was
over.
trending there.
I'm at 3 right now. I'm looking at it.
Marchand, do you think that's a little low? 5. Don't you think that's safe, like you said with Bobrovsky? Marchand was one of the best players in the series. I think he's 1 or 2.
I still think he gets a point put in there. He's on the 3rd line, Nick.
All right.
I think it's different when it's Verhaeghe.
Tkachuk, absolutely not. Matthew Nyes, honorable mention.
Yes.
I'll
Yes,
give you a
that's-
point there. And X factors just.
I tried. I went bold.
3. 3?
Yeah, I'm at 3.
I'll give you 3.
So Cody
Like-
agrees with his grade.
Yeah, because
That was easier to grade than Nick's.
because I went bold. I didn't go safe.
Now it's time for Kirby's.
I think I win.
Kirby, Matthew Tkachuk at 1.
Nope.
Marchand at 2. That's a point.
Yes.
Barkov at 3. Nope.
Yes. No.
William-
No.
Nick had him at 3 as well. He didn't get a point for that. You're not getting a point there either. Why are you acting shocked? It's in the same thing. We didn't give Nick
I
that.
think you were stronger on that than I was, but okay.
Okay, but I asked you.
The number 3 spot's still the number 3 spot, Kirby.
And then William Nylander at 4. I give that a check mark. Lundell at 5.
Best line of the Panthers?
No, I'm not giving it. X Factors, honorable mention Niza Bennett. I think those are 2 points right there.
Yep.
And your X Factors, and I'm going to say this now, you went safe on your X Factors as well.
Let's go.
I really don't want to give you a point because how the fuck are these
Tanev
guys
gets
X
a point.
Factors?
Tanev gets a point.
All right, I'll give you Tanev, but I'm not giving you Jones.
So what's Kirby at here?
I can't believe like the Lundell.
I think Kirby's at I'm
4?
close to 4.5 right now
4.5, all right.
because Jones should not have been.
Should have a higher grade than that.
And Kirby?
Kachuk was the only bad pick.
But
Kirby and
Jones
I
should not
had-
have been an X factor.
Kirby and I had the Panthers in 5. Cody and Caesar had the Panthers in 6. We were all wrong. Went to 7.
Hold on. So Cody gets a check mark for the Tampa Bay series, so I win the Toronto one.
Yeah.
So this is Nick's series ahead.
Yeah. Might be a little bold on some of the takes, but it's all right.
But no, it's just with the Joe. It's like the X factors. Like looking at it now, Kirby did go safe for the X factors. I feel.
It's defenseman. I'm giving defense.
But our
love.
top.
Cody,
But our
I did
top
not go
deep-
safe with my list. I did not include a goalie on
But
there.
our
and I
top
also said
5.
this-
But
I also said this was not going to be a goalie series.
an X factor shouldn't be our top on ice, our top defenseman with time on ice. You would never put Brandon Montour in an X factor. You would never do that. You put him in the top 5.
Because I'd be more bold with him.
Guess what? I was bold with Jones. You should have did what I did. Be like me.
Doesn't like losing. He won the last round. He's quite pouting.
I'm not pouting. It's just I don't think he was an X factor. I think he's top
I think
5.
my list was clearly superior, but the Matthew Tkachuk, what was I hoping there?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You better start praying for the next round.
with Elliott
I'm
Fried,
not feeling Matthew Tkachuk this round, gentlemen.
No, I am not at all.
I mean, we're talking about a
So that
team
means
who.
long series. What?
I mean, we're talking about Matthew Tkachuk. The last time he played the Carolina Hurricanes, he had not 1, not 2, but 3 game-winning goals.
Where would you have ranked him in that series at the end of it?
2.
2. Not 1. Alexander
But-
Barkov. And I had him number 1 back then.
Honestly, no. Actually, no. I would put Tkachuk 3. That's my bad.
Who's 2?
Barkov,
Who's 1?
Bobrovsky.
Okay. I would have had Barkov 1, Bobrovsky 2.
Bobrovsky was in another ether that series.
I know, but we don't win that series without Barkov.
But we don't win that. We don't have a chance in hell without Bobrovsky. Like he was making highlight reel save after highlight reel save after save. Like we were getting
1A, 1B. But then you have to give Carolina credit, which you never do with their offense.
They didn't score, so no.
He was in the zone, I agree. But I don't know.
They scored 3 goals in 3 games to start the series.
I
No,
would have went 1A, 1B, Barkov and Bob in Carolina. Did you favor someone more in 2023?
I thought, I don't even remember what I picked back then, but looking back and retrospect, I think Bob would probably be number 1. Barkov a close second. Bob was excellent in that series.
Oh, for sure. Bob was really elite in the Toronto.
I think towards the end of that Carolina series, Barkov really started to show. The Vegas series, Lundell and Barkov were by
Those were the
far
only 2.
Those were the only 2 players.
Everyone else was Knights.
but we were so damn battered and bruised by then.
Yeah. And then Bob was human, but I don't blame him.
Bob was human because, damn. Because remember we had the week
Joke
off.
now, Cody. This is the 3rd round.
It's because remember we had that week off in between the Carolina series and the Vegas series.
Mm-hmm. We don't got much time here. Freaking end the Toronto game one day.
Right now,
Next day we're talking about Carolina.
Puck
We
drop.
got to move on to that.
I mean, damn. I mean, last night was Game 7, literally.
Sorry, we don't
And,
have all the numbers in front of us and stats. Check me out on the Twitter X post game show. But man, like, how much time?
It hasn't even settled in that this is the
No.
Eastern Conference Finals yet. To me, like
I
usually
was
I have.
saying to Matthew on Twitter, I was like, doesn't it feel like this has gone by so quick so far as opposed to the last 2 years? These 2 rounds?
Honestly, no. The 2023 felt like a blur.
Really? That took a long time.
It would no.
2023 took time, but look
Yeah,
at
it took time because the week off we had between the Cup final and the conference.
Well, yeah, and I think last year felt long because of a stretch of 3 games at a certain point in the playoffs. But
and Boston just grinded us out for that, like with a fan mentality perspective in that first round in 2023.
And then
that was like a playoff run of its own right there.
Like, are we done tonight? Are we done?
And then after the Rangers, after like Game 3 Rangers, that series was just quick after that because they didn't have
Rangers
an answer.
series went really fast to me, but I really enjoyed
How
it.
about the Edmonton one, guys? Did that go by quick?
That was excruciating.
Like
that was 30 years wrapped into one.
Here's the thing. Like that series is why I did not understand why people were nervous for Toronto Game 7.
Yeah, Cody and I got comments. I'm nervous, Nick. You want to add anything here?
No, I don't. I'd like to talk about Carolina, though.
No, because Captain Nervous over here, I had to talk him off a cliff.
I thought we're playing the Leafs, Nick. I had much respect to, and you're nervous.
You know what's funny? Like people are gonna be like, "Oh, I don't fear the Leafs," and I'm gonna bring up the fear everyone had for Game 7.
Yeah, all the tweets,
and then because I had to talk Nick off a cliff, I had to talk Matthew off a cliff. I had to talk Lex off a cliff. Like
that wasn't too bad.
I was more worried for Game 6 than I was Game 7.
The pessimistic Panther fans came out of the woodworks.
Those freaking losers. But
anyway,
but shifting gears here, we move on to a rematch of this right here Eastern Conference Final.
Where'd you get that?
Sebastian Aho on there, right?
Oh, this puck was gifted to me, actually.
Really?
That's Aho?
Where could one get a puck like that, you think?
Oh, I know a couple places.
Let's hear from our sponsor, CanesWear.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? CanesWear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. CanesWear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
And for you Panther fans, are you looking to move, buy or sell? Let's hit up our friend Jeremy Beckham with at Beck Sells FLA with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy and his team put humans over houses, working hard for you whether you're buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com or call 772-475-5371 now. You'll be glad you did.
Hold on. I was trying not to laugh there because if you guys joined us on the post-game show, Nick, you want to let them in on that?
So it should be, instead of Beck Sells FLA, it should be Beck Sells GTA. Mitchie Marner, you might want to listen to this one, pal. All right? Because he might be having to move anywhere from Anaheim. He might be going to Disneyland, and not for a vacation, folks. So anything, if Jeremy Beckham, he wants to move up to Toronto, I hear Mitchie Marner might be looking to sell it.
But hey,
I didn't even get out the Kirby's always right meme and gift today because I'm freaking exhausted.
If Jeremy Beckham gets a call from Mitch Marner, Kirby might lose it.
I don't know if you want to deal with that juju, Jeremy. I don't know if you want to deal with
that. Anyway, boys, we go from a series where I felt like the margins were razor thin. I think in this series there are going to be barely any margins at all, because that's how tight this series is going to be. Watching the Carolina Hurricanes is like watching Florida Panthers again.
Mirror match.
The same principles, the same systems, except there's one big difference. The Panthers run their system through the forwards. The Hurricanes run their systems through the defense. It's because you look at where Carolina's invested a lot of their money, it's in the defense core. Jacob Slavin, Brent Burns, re-signed Jalen Chatfield, and this offseason signing two big right-handed shot defensemen, Shane Gostisbehere and Sean Walker. Then you have Dmitry Orlov, who they got that big contract 2 years ago. And now you have young cats like Alexander Nikishin, and then I think Jackson Blake is a defenseman, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Oh, he's a forward? Oh, so they ran 5 forwards. I had no idea. So
He's like me the other day on, what was the Tampa Bay prospect? That's what Cody just did.
Oh, Isaac Howard?
I thought he was a goalie.
It's like,
Cody matched me there.
But anyway, we're going to give our top 5 list here. And we're always going to start with our pal Kirby because this is a superstition.
No, I don't like how he wants to start with me and he matches what I'm doing. I've got.
I have it already written down, so you can go. It might be a little unique, my list. So, in certain aspects.
Where am I starting here, Cody?
I mean, you're starting at 5 here, like we always do.
Well, I don't know if this is safe or whatever. This guy's really let me down. This is one of my guys, but I'm going to go number 5, Sam Reinhart. Can you get maybe 1 power play goal this series, please? Can you maybe be the best line in this series? Because I envision that from you if we are going to advance in this series and go to another Stanley Cup final appearance. So I think our top line has to be best in this series if we're going to win this matchup. I don't think you're going to be carried by a third line and get all the goal production from that fourth line. The way that Cody just mentioned with the Carolina defense, I think this is where we really match up, but we got to bring it. Like this first line, play your best hockey here. I don't think you have yet. I've liked the things defensively, but we can't use those same excuses like, oh, Austin Matthews was good defensively, but when's he going to find a goal? And he finds a garbage goal and all that. So I think Sam Reinhart, help us here on the power play. We really need you. But hey, teammates, get him the puck. He needs more puck touches. So 5, Sam Reinhart. Number 4, a guy that I like. Me and Cody always argue about him. I'm curious where Cody's going to have him because I think he'll have him on his list. Seth Jarvis at number 4. Look at this guy's playoff numbers. He's already almost completed, if not after these playoffs conclude, a full season in the playoffs. I think he's really closely and inching up close to that. Anton Lundell, a guy for us that's played a lot of playoff hockey. So Seth Jarvis.
Same draft class, 1 pick apart.
1 pick apart, yep. We had our preview show, and they were telling me about Seth Jarvis's defensive instincts now on the penalty kill as well. So this guy's an all-purpose player. He can hurt you all over the ice. So Seth Jarvis at number 4. Number 3.
My guy, by the way.
Cody's guy, he says. I don't know. We'll debate on that one.
You drafted him in fantasy. Remember that.
Oh, yeah, you took him ahead of me. Number 3, I did not have him on my list last series. I said this would not be a goaltending series, but I think he has to fall somewhere here, again, if Florida is going to advance. Sergei Bobrovsky at number 3. I didn't want to put him safe. I didn't also want to put him at number 1 because I think there is some players ahead of him here that I'm very confident in. But Sergei Bobrovsky, go back to some of that magic from 2023 against Carolina Hurricanes. Try to bottle some of that. I don't think you have to reach that level, Bobrovsky, but you got to get to about 9.
If he has to reach that level, we're screwed.
Yeah, I think we're in trouble in different areas. I think we have a deeper roster right now too, Cody, so we shouldn't have to rely and depend on.
I mean, we don't have Nick Cousins on the second line anymore. I'm pretty sure we're deeper now.
And Colin White and Ryan Lomberg. I love Ryan Lomberg, but wheeling out there in 3 overtime games, so I think we're a little deeper there.
I mean, when you get 6 minutes of ice time during the first 5 periods, of course you're going to be out there wheeling.
I still love that Ryan Lomberg overtime ice time against Carolina. And then number 2, I could have put him lower, but I'm trying to be a little bold here. Best defensive defenseman in the NHL, Jacob Slavin. If this series is going long, Jacob Slavin is in the top 3, top 4, whether they win or lose. I think he's going to look to be better than what he was in the 2023 matchup against the Florida Panthers. Coming off of that great Four Nations performance, he's looked really good in the playoffs. I've actually watched Carolina Hurricanes playoff hockey. He's been unbelievable. They've been doing breakdowns of him in between intermissions and plays. So if our forecheck is kind of sleepy or not where it's at certain points like it was in the Toronto series, Jacob Slade is going to break that puck out, and he'll even add a little bit of offense as well, scoring chances.
I'm pretty sure I know who your number 1 is, so I'm going to try and guess it here.
So Jacob Slavin, my number 2.
Yep. I think I know who your number 1 is.
Are you going to say it, right?
I'd be shocked if this wasn't your number 1.
I'm going back to the well from 2023. Alexander Barkov, our captain. I called it out back when I was doing content. I said, this is going to be the Alexander Barkov series against the Carolina Hurricanes. I know everyone talks about the Matthew Tkachuk goals. Cody, you talked about the Bobrovsky saves and heroics in that series. But this is going to be Alexander Barkov. If you guys honestly think we're going to beat this Carolina Hurricanes team,
he has to be
going to come from our top line. I'm not talking just defensively, offensive moments as well.
It's just with Alexander Barkov, before that series, he had a lot of questions about his playoff play. That series shut up any doubt of that happening. Of any doubt of that.
Now, I saw it in the Boston and Toronto series before, but he took it to a new stratosphere. I don't think he's ever left that stratosphere.
Outside of like the Sam Reinhart game-winning Game 7 goal, that fake in between the legs of Game 2 to tie it up is still probably one of my favorite goals ever.
Yep. And I think he has to have moments like that, guys, where I don't think he has these playoffs in 2025. He needs to have those type of moments. But I've liked his overall game, but to be number one, like he's got to hit this out of the park here, and I'm confident in our captain. Honorable mentions, Freddie Anderson. Even if they lose the series, and maybe I have him too low here, guys. He's the best goalie right now in the 2025 playoffs if you look across the board, numbers-wise and everything like that. And then I left a guy off here in Anton Lundell, but I got to put Brad Marchand in the honorable mention here. I don't think he needs to drive us like in the Tampa and Toronto series. We have to have our big...
But if he does...
If he does, are we winning this series?
I would think so.
Yeah.
If he's higher?
It depends what level of Marchand we get.
But we need our other guys.
Yeah. But I think they will show up.
Because I don't think it can be like the Tampa.
It's going to be a matchup series. I think it's going to be depending on who's out on the ice, who they're matching up against.
That's going to be I think the most interesting part is.
And again, it's going to be moments. It's not going to be long stretches of play. It's going to be who comes up with a moment here, who comes up with a certain game there, right? And I think, Barkov can contain a guy, and then maybe Marchand could come up with a big goal or two, depending on how low event you think the series is going to go. That could end up moving him up.
So me putting Marchand in the honorable mention, he could get a big goal or a big moment, but I think I don't have him for as big of an impact as he was in the Tampa and Toronto series because I think our other guys need to find this time to step up here. But yeah, definitely he can do that. It wouldn't surprise me if he...
It wouldn't surprise me if he gets into the top 5.
But who is your X factors for this series?
Or your other? Shout out to Cody here on both of them. I'm going with Cody's boy Lusto, and there's been a lot of argument in our community. Who's Lusto's guy here? So,
hold on a minute. You didn't want to give me a point for Lusto in round 2, but you wanted to talk about the check mark in Game 5.
He said because he didn't think Lusto played that well.
He's going to be better in this series against Carolina.
Kirby. You're not getting a point from me on that one.
You're not letting me finish here. This is a revenge series for Etu. Remember our fan saying if he didn't get hurt in that Carolina series, we were going to win the Stanley Cup against Vegas.
And you know what I said to those fans?
Ready to go here.
You know what I said to those fans? As much as I love them, blow it out your ass. We weren't beating Vegas.
We would have lost in 6.
We were not beating Vegas.
I got to give Lusto some love here because I could have put like Lundell on my honorable mention and left Lusto. Again, these X factors are hard to pick because we're in the Final Four here, everyone. And I'm going to go with, no, he's not a defenseman, Cody. He's a forward. And I don't want to call him by his dad's name, Jason. We're going with Jackson Blake.
Wait, Jason Blake's his dad?
Yeah. This guy is going to play PP1. He's going to get in Bob's kitchen. He's going to cause a lot of frustration. Panthers got to clear him out. And Rod Brindamore loves this guy. I akin him to Berube with Nyes. Nyes is a better hockey player.
Oh, but dude, Leaf legend.
Yes, Rod Brindamore loves himself some Jackson Blake, and he's going to get PP1 time. He's going to be out there. He's lower down the lineup, but he's a great depth piece. If you got him higher up the lineup, that's where I don't think Carolina has an edge. But if you look down at Carolina's bottom 6 right now, they're pretty stacked. And there's a guy there from on Carolina that I know you really like, Nick. I don't know if he's going to appear on your list, but yeah, so I'm going to go Jackson Blake, Lusto. I think that's perfect level of X factors because how far are we going down? You can't go way up on the list. You can't say Marchand anymore for an X factor the way that he's played. You can't, I don't know, can you even say, what's his name on Carolina? The pink of Martinuk. Can you call him an X factor the way that
you can.
You can? Yeah.
That series was a damn one-off. If he has 10 points in a series again,
and Cody's not going to let me pick Seth Jones this time. So
he's not an X factor.
Didn't put him on there because he's like our best defenseman right now.
I mean, look, Seth Jones, absolute dog. You want to talk about a guy who came to play in Game 7 versus Toronto? Look no further than Seth Jones.
Exactly, Cody. But what if I wrote Seth Jones on Twitter? Everyone would laugh at me. X factor. That guy can't even play hockey. That's what the response would have been.
Yeah, but the response to people that don't know puck. So, but now we move on to the Italian stallion, Nick Levine.
Here we go. Nick, you need this series here, Nick. If we're going to go to the playoffs, you need to hit this out of the finals, playoffs. We're
already there, Kirby.
We're not the Anaheim Ducks. The finals, you need to hit this out of the park.
Shout out Jim Mora.
Stanley Cup final, Nick. So let's go.
There we go.
Yeah.
So number 5, I'm going to go with a guy who stood out big in Game 7. I think he's going to continue this bit. He's going to be a standout player, continue kind of that dominance, and I think he's been dynamic. Seth Jones, I think I'm going to just give you a little preview. I think he's going to be the best defenseman in this series. That's my hot take. I think what you've seen from Seth Jones is a return to what he was in Columbus and even the early parts in Nashville. I think the guy's a dynamic skater. He's creative with the puck. His size and his strength are going to be a good tool to utilize throughout this series. And I think in a game where some of this series it's going to be tight checking, I think he could come up with a big goal, right? Especially take a look at this Carolina penalty kill. He's going to have to rip those pucks in from the point. I could see a couple of them getting in past Anderson there because maybe with some traffic in front. Number 4, Kirby, I'm going to go Seth Jarvis. I think this is Carolina's most dynamic playoff performer. And I know you had him at number 4. That was already pre-planned, I promise. But no, I do think Seth Jarvis, again, as he's done time and time again, I thought he was very good against us in 2023. And I think he's going to continue that here in 2025. Number 3, this is the last one. Well, we have 2 more in common. Sergei Bobrovsky. I do think we all kind of see this series going a little kind of similar in a way. I am going to have a little bit of a twist there in a couple of seconds. But Sergei Bobrovsky, I think, again, he's going to continue what he started off in against Toronto, how he ended in Toronto. I think, again, there's going to be moments where Carolina is pushing because they have that ability to really hem you in your own zone. And we could get caught out there with the Tkachuk line or whatever, and he's going to have to make some big saves, especially at home, too. I think Bobrovsky is going to be key. Number 2, I disagree. I think Brad Marchand is playing his best hockey that he's played in quite a long time. He's dynamic with the puck. He has in Game 3 against Toronto, he got the guys going. He laid a big hit on Chris Tanev, and he was kept yapping at Max Domi, and you could tell he really wants this. And a team that's been to 3 straight conference finals now, there's going to be some fatigue, I'm sure, with other guys. Brad Marchand, he doesn't have that fatigue, right? He's fired up. I think he's juiced up. I think he's ready to go. And I think he can match up anywhere against any line. And I think if Barkov's going to get the toughest matchups, that third line and Lundell, Lusto, and Marchand are going to get some more favorable matchups that I think they can exploit.
Nick, before you go to number 1, I got a question there for you. Can Brad Marchand do to Jacob Slavin what he did to Chris Tanev?
I think absolutely. Because I think, Chris Tanev, one of the toughest guys in the NHL, one of the best defensive defensemen in the NHL, if they could kind of replicate that, and I think Carolina has a better system than Toronto, or at least they're more cohesive as a group, a unit than Toronto is. But I do think that there is some sort things you can replicate on Jacob Slavin that you did against Chris Tanev, right? So it's like,
or the whole decor as a whole. I know,
right? How they're constructed, right? Carolina's decor, they have some big guys, but some of them are small, like Sean Walker, Shane Gostisbehere. There's some other guys that you can exploit there that I think could be beneficial. Number 1, I agree with your assessment. We're going to need our number 1 center to step up. Alexander Barkov, I think he's going to have a really big series. And, obviously, you take a look at certain aspects of this series, it's not really going to be decided by special teams. Carolina drives a lot of offense from their blue line, but also they rely on like Aho, Svechnikov, Jarvis, Stankoven. Barkov's going to be matched up against presumably some of those guys. I think what he did in 2023 was underrated. I know Tkachuk gets the flowers because of that Game 4 game-winning goal, but Alexander Barkov is the best player in that series. And there might be some games where I think you could get some more goals than you're expecting, where there might be 1 or 2 of those games. There's going to be another couple of those games that are really tight checking, what people would call boring hockey. Alexander Barkov, if you want a guy playing in a tight checking, boring hockey game, that's the guy I want.
He's not falling asleep. He'll be engaged.
No, he'll be engaged. And my honorable mentions, I do think, as I said, Seth Jones is going to be the best defenseman. I do think Jacob Slavin is right there. I think he's going to be better. I don't anticipate the rest of Carolina's defense being very good. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I do think we could pick on them a bit, especially guys like Sean Walker and Shane Gostisbehere on our forecheck. Could be wrong. And then The other honorable mention I have is Sam Reinhart. I think, again, Barkov's going to be number one. I think Reinhart doesn't need to be spectacular. He might not get the goals, but I think he's going to need to help Barkov shut down whoever they might need to or cancel each other out. Notice I left a goalie off. That's because my X factor, and Cody, you're going to need to search this name up. Pyotr Kochetkov is my
I like
X
it.
factor.
I like it.
That is my X factor. I think they're going to go to him. I think Anderson can struggle a bit early on in this series.
Get yanked for the series?
I think he can be struggled, or I think he might go to Coach.
It's not out of the realm. Some people might think it's crazy, but it could happen.
They went to Auntie Ranta after.
I talked about that.
But that was because of like the OT game.
Listen,
that was not a dog move, though, Cody. What, did he have an IV in his arm? He couldn't play game 2. Bob was back out there.
Right. So I think
was not
for Kochetkov, that is my X factor. And I think a guy that could draw back into the lineup, because I foresee maybe a guy like Gadjevich coming out. Jesper Boakfist. I think he really surprised us in Game 5 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think
grasping at straws.
I think this is a guy that actually this is a better series for him.
You think he's going to be in over Mackey?
Yeah, in the fourth line, I do. I think if Erod comes out, Mackey.
Because Erod could jump down to the fourth line and Mackey can come up.
Well, I think, listen, Cody picked Mackey last round. He didn't play a game. Did he?
He did play a game.
Oh, he played the first 2 games, whatever. I think Jesper Boakfist, this is a series that maybe he can get a big goal or a big moment. And I think in a series, I think Gadjevich, I think the speed and it's going to be a little bit too much for him.
So you don't envision Boquist getting up on the first line, just strictly the fourth line?
I think the fourth line could really cause some havoc here. I think this fourth line is going to
But you don't see another repeat of him coming up on the first line?
No, I don't.
No.
All right. So
they're bold. I told you they're bold.
Here we go.
I like it. I like the X factors.
So
Nick's list almost resembled mine, but the X factors kind of mixes.
And so here's what I'm thinking for this. So for my top 5, I have, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have like a couple of guys similar, but number 5, I have Sergei Bobrovsky.
Kind of
Kirby, talk shit.
I don't care.
It's a safe pick.
I don't care. I went bold last round and I got last place because of it.
So we're not going to do well if Bobrovsky's at 5.
No, we'll still win. It's just I think the Panthers are much better defensively this time around, where I don't think he's going to have to make as many 10-bail saves.
So you're saying like an 18-save shutout?
Yeah, that kind of thing. I could foresee something like that.
And no bad games.
And I think you take a look. A lot of us thought the Toronto series was going to be tight, checking like 1-0 to. It was in some games, but there are other games. It's 5-4, 4-3, 5-4. First 3 games that over 6.5 goals. Vegas.
Yeah, but that was because we weren't playing well. And then once we started playing well, that's when Toronto's goal scoring went completely down.
But they also think the Toronto style with the rush style and stuff.
Yeah, but then I don't know what did that. At number 4, I'm gonna go with a name you guys haven't said yet, and it's because I believe in certain matchups here, and I think this guy's gonna get the better of the matchups on ice. I'm going Logan Stankoven.
Okay. Because we haven't mentioned Svechnikov. We haven't mentioned Aho.
But the thing is with Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis, I do think they're going to get matched up with the Barkov line. And that's going to be a real tough time for him. Because
or the third line.
Yeah, and whenever they're out there, it's going to be tough for them. I think
if they're out there with the Kachuk line, I think they start to cook a bit.
Yeah, but that's when. But I think that they're only going to be out there if we ice the puck, and like maybe last change at points if it's like an ozone draw late into the game. But I'm a big fan of Logan Stankoven.
So what do you think? Going to score goals off the rush, and we're going to give those opportunities up?
I think there's a chance in this series we are going to give some up off the rush. I mean,
and it's going to come from him coming down the wing and beating Bob with either a good shot or a greasy one.
Yeah, kind of. Because one thing I've noticed is Bob's 5-hole weakness is starting to come back a bit. Because the last 2 games versus Toronto, he let in two really stinky ones. That I think
Jarvis would more beat him off the rush though.
But I think Jarvis would have less chances than Stankoven. because of the matchups.
Okay.
Look, I'm going bold here, Doug. But then at number 3, I think I'm the only person that has 2 Hurricanes on the list.
With what?
I think I'm the only one with 2 Hurricanes. I'm going to have 2 Hurricanes.
I got 2 in my top 5.
I don't.
Well, I'm going with my boy Seth Jarvis.
Oh, you got him higher than me and Cody. I mean, Nick,
yeah,
Cody's got higher than me and Nick, I should say.
Yeah, because I'm Cody. How you doing? Just with Jarvis, I think he's going to be something that, because he is very good in front of the net, and I think Carolina could get about 2 or 3 power play goals this series if it goes well for them.
You contradicted yourself. You just said that Stanko was going to get better looks in different
5-on-5.
Jarvis is going to get it.
5-on-5.
Yeah, I'm talking 5-on-5 with Jarvis breaking.
But I think Jarvis will make a bigger impact power play wise. That's why I have him here.
Jarvis power play wise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because if you go back to 2023, he scored 1 goal in that series. Guess what it was? On the power play.
But you think any team is going to get off on the power play in this series? These are elite penalty kill teams. Number 1.
There's a chance of it because there is a chance that the over aggression on the penalty kill could create space in the middle, and Jarvis is in the bumper spot on that power play. So something could happen there.
So you see like net drives from him on the power play, or kind of a bumper shot?
More bumper shots. And
I see net drives from him.
I don't know. He's never really been I don't really see net drives out of him. It's just like when you look at the Capital series, his goal was off a rebound in front of the net, which I think
he'll go to those areas.
He has a little bit of Braden Point in him where he's very good within 10 feet of the net.
I say Point depends on his shot more than Jarvis, but
but still. But at number 2, I mean, I'm just going to double down here.
Double down from last round?
Sam Reinhart. I mean, and my number 1's going to be Alexander Barkov. I'm just going to say it now. I mean, all of us have him here. But with the top 2 centers here, or these top 2 guys, they're going to have to be our best players this series.
Is there any pause for concern, if I can spit it out, that Sam Reinhart isn't going to do enough on the power play? I'm not just going to put it on him, but it's kind of on the team as well.
Well, they're not even going to him on the power
they need to get him the damn puck.
He's not puck type.
The bumper play is completely done.
But if you watch the teams defend it, he's because here's the thing. We should have known this was coming because of 4 Nations. Because at 4 Nations, he was power play 1. He has McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, Makar, and who the hell are they guarding? Sam Reinhart.
That's huge props to Reinhart, and I think that's because we won the Stanley Cup.
Also, he's on the most dangerous spot on the ice.
Yeah, but they left McKinnon open up a 1-T on
that was the second shift of the game in 4 Nations.
Well,
but here's the thing:
power play.
They're in the most dangerous spot. Yeah, but here's the thing: it's they rather let McKinnon beat them than Reinhart beat them.
But we have to somehow get him the puck, and he has to come through with moments. With this high up on the list,
that's when it has to come down to movement on the power play.
Because 5v5, let's not be mistaken, that first line's going to have tough defensive assignments still, but I think they're freed up a little bit more.
But I think this is going to be, I don't want to say the word easiest, but this is probably going to be their easiest assignment, defensive wise.
I don't want to give discredit to Carolina either, but a little bit more relaxing.
Because
it's also the most high-powered team Carolina has faced.
Yeah. It's not even close because they go Montreal, Washington, and then New Jersey, Washington, and then we're fucking up here.
Yeah. I mean, who's the best player they played? Jesper Bratt, 40-year-old Ovechkin.
And all due respect to, Cody doesn't want to say this, with Sebastian Aho and an older Stahl. Can I spit out his first name?
Jordan Stahl.
Oh, thank you.
Mark.
And my number 1 is Alexander Barkov.
I wasn't
for the exact
say
same
Mark.
reasons as said earlier.
I wasn't going to say Mark. But again, and then they've got Roslovic right now as their 2C. They might switch that with Kotkaniemi moving up.
Kotkaniemi, as daily faceoff is listed, he's their 4C with Jordan Stahl as their 3C.
But I don't love their center alignment when you look at our team up and down the roster.
And Barkov has owned Aho in the past.
Yep.
And it's just
more so even in the playoffs.
This is the easiest center matchup he's going to have because he went from Braden Point, Austin Matthews to Sebastian Aho. That's no disrespect to Sebastian Aho, but Braden Point, Austin Matthews are consensus top 7 centers.
And then you still have Tavares and Cirelli and the mix too on those teams.
And you take a look at the guys on the wing, Kucherov and Gensel.
And
you have to pay attention to them.
And Svechnikov is having a hell of a postseason, 8 goals.
Yeah, but again, like Nylander, I'm not even going to mention Marner, but you get the point, right?
like and Hagel too. Don't forget Hagel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not going to mention him either, but
concussed and suspended.
The whole Tom Wilson.
It's just like
we would have played him.
Carolina is the best team systematic wise we're going to play because that is their biggest strength, is their system, is their coaching.
But their fans are yelling from the rooftops, put some respect on our individual player names. And these guys are stars and superstars.
Now, this is where they got to show it. Because here's the thing. If our best players are the best players in this, if Barkov and Hurt are AA+, Carolina cannot counter that. That's the biggest thing with this series. Carolina,
if Tkachuk actually does something.
If Tkachuk, that takes us over the top.
If Tkachuk hits the different level, it's over. Because
I don't think Matt. There's very few players when Matthew Tkachuk's going. There's not many. He didn't
appear on any of our lists here. So if he takes some motivation from this, because Ryan Whitney and Keith Yanda were shouting out the Cats and Rats podcast today. So if Matthew listens to this and gets a little motivation there, hey, prove us wrong, because I gave you number 1 spot last series, but I'm like, is he at 100%? What can we expect from him? He's getting all his points on the power play, and our power play has not been good.
Yeah, it's just, and with
that is an understatement.
It's just,
can he drive us in overtimes with how he feels right now?
Yeah, and that's the thing is that's why I've always been kind of lower on Carolina. It's just if the other team's best player, and if it's an upper echelon best player, and they're going and they can't stop them, there's no counter to it. Because you can coach the greatest system ever, but if a top 10 player in anything is at his absolute best, coaching can only get you so far. And I think that's the ceiling that they've hit repeatedly, and they know that's the ceiling.
The Islanders with Barry Trotz.
Yeah, they hit the ceiling because guess what? At the end of the day, Tampa had Hedman and Vasi, and guess what? They could not overcome that. And in Vegas learned that. That's why they went out and got Jack Eichel. And Carolina knew it too. That's why they tried to go out and get Mikko Rantanen. It blew up in their face because the guy didn't want to be there. To be honest with you, you should have known the guy didn't want to be there before you freaking traded for him.
They had him right now. I told you guys this before.
If they had him,
Carolina and Colorado probably.
If they had him, I would have had Carolina in 4-4. They probably would have been 8-0 in these playoffs if they had Mikko Rantanen right now.
A very scary matchup for us.
Oh, I'd be terrified right now. I'd probably pick them to win, to be honest.
The way that our second line, Matthew Tkachuk hasn't performed, I'd be very, very.
I mean, with Elliot Friedman coming out to saying he's legitimately injured, still injured from 4 Nations. I'm still getting vibes that he may miss the start of next season too.
Oh, I think he can miss the start of next season, Matthew Tkachuk, because he wants to play in the Olympics. Just saying it. People don't want to hear it. But he'll miss in a couple months.
But if he wants to play in the Olympics, I'm not going to be mad at that at all.
No one's going to stop him, just like no one stopped Austin Matthews.
Look, but the Olympics are a different story. I'm never going to stop any player from representing their country in the Olympics. The Olympics are the biggest sporting event in the world. And it's the grandest stage of them all. And the NHL has not allowed their players to compete in it in years.
Me and you don't have a problem with it.
I have no problem. And it's
get a lot of callers that
and it's not because I'm American. It's not because Matthew Tkachuk for the American boy and all that. No. If Alexander Barkov said I'd rather sit because I want to go play in the Olympics, okay, you can go ahead and sit. We can survive. That's how I feel about it. And just think, we're gonna have 8-9 guys in the Olympics next year.
But I don't want guys to be sitting voluntarily, Cody, because it turns into the NBA.
Yeah. Well, no, not like that. But if he's but let's say he has a lingering injury and he wants to be 100%. That's what I mean by that.
Yes. Okay. I just want to be clear with that. Okay.
But it's so funny because we're gonna have Uvis Belinskis go to the Olympics.
Yeah, people don't.
And we can't catch a fucking break with these guys. Just freaking everybody gets to go.
I will be here for the Olympic coverage, Nick.
Our Finnish, we already know our Finnish 4 are going. All 4 Finnish guys are going.
And I think they're cemented and locked in.
Whatever new players we bring in, I'm sure.
Mikkola wouldn't be a lock if the Finnish defense core was deeper, but it's not. So I think he's already an auto lock. And Lundell, Lusto, and Barkov, they're easy locks.
Barkov's the damn captain.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like that. That goes with almost saying all three of them.
Forsling going to Sweden.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Kachuk going to USA. Reinhardt going to Canada.
Bennett's the interesting one.
Well, we don't know if we even have.
Well, if is he going to be on the team?
No. I don't think Ekblad's there, everyone.
No,
Seth Jones working his way?
Not yet.
Just a smidge.
Is he?
He's playing.
No, he's American.
In national program.
He's American, but it's just the defense is way too deep. And especially with the emergence of Jake Sanderson now.
Injuries open up a lot of things and opportunities.
But they would have to be 3-4 bodies out.
3-4?
Because I think they go John Carlson before that. But when it comes to...
I'll throw Brad Marchand's name into the mix.
I think he's on the team.
Going to be wearing that again?
But for this series...
We didn't even get your honorable mention in X Factor, did we?
I didn't even think. Honorable mentions, I had... I nearly put Seth Jones in there, and I'm going to throw Freddie Anderson also in my top 5 honorable mentions because he is playing great hockey. The best goalie going into these last... I guess statistically he's the best goalie.
So you and me have Freddie Anderson in our honorable mentions, and Nick has Kochekov in his X Factor. So that's the big.
I think Kochekov sucks, to be honest with you.
No, I like him
personally.
I like him.
I don't think emotional goalies play well against the Panthers. Especially.
I just don't know if we see him in this series unless Freddie goes down with an injury. That could play good too, Nick.
That could most definitely happen, knowing Freddie Anderson's history.
Yep.
But
so honorable mention Anderson. Who's your Florida one?
Damn, who did I said? I said Seth Jones.
Okay.
So Seth Jones, and then X Factors. He's third in ice time, so I can do this. I'm going Aaron Ekblad, X Factor for Florida.
Is that fine, Nick?
No, but whatever. I'll allow it.
Look. I deserve a pass.
The top analytic guy in the series.
I get shit on my X Factor for Eetu Luostarinen.
Cody yelled at me. Hold on here a second, because Cody yelled at me last round for picking Seth Jones, who's a middle pairing defenseman, right, Nick?
He's leading our team in ice time.
You know what he said? He said you would not pick Brandon Montour, Kirby. I think that's what
I
he
said. I said, would you put Montour as an X Factor? No, you would put him in the top 5.
Because I'm bold with Montour, I said.
So what you're saying is Aaron Ekblad
did it in the Boston series in 2023, Cody.
He's third in ice time.
You know that's a load of bullshit.
He's third in ice time, big dog. Third.
You know that's a load of bullshit. You know that's a load of bullshit.
I'm picking my guy. I don't care.
We're gonna grade that one.
We'll grade it on a curve. We'll grade it accordingly, Nick.
Harshly.
Well, I mean, but if he's like the second best defenseman in this series, then that's a point.
Oh, he better be as good as he was this last series, that everyone said.
But then for Carolina,
the games he played.
This guy's killed the Panthers in the past. I'm going Taylor Hall.
Oh, so you're buying into him. Because Nick wasn't buying into him too much.
The last time we played Taylor Hall in a playoff series, he played very well against us.
So he's going to have to play Boston Bruins levels against us.
If he's Boston Bruins level, he may be in the top 5 of this series. Because
there's a lot of good players in this series. I think he's going to have to reach close to that.
He killed us in that series. But
and for an X Factor in Taylor Hall, he's a former MVP of the league. So,
but that was.
I'm not giving you ones here. I'm not giving you. You went bolder last round, Cody.
But this isn't really a bold series.
Kochekov even makes an appearance.
I think Nick might win this. Oh, Kochekov's coming off the bench. Let's mark it down.
And then let's a goal on 7 shots. No. But the thing is like I don't think this is a bold series because there's going to be a very lack of scoring.
I think that could surprise some people.
Well, we're going to have to grade things with a defensive eye, Cody. And you're a defenseman, and you're going, oh, this is going to be a boring series and everything. We got to grade it.
When did those words ever leave my mouth?
With what?
What words?
But this was going to be a boring series. I said this is going to be
just now.
Like Carolina.
I said this is going to be a tight. How is low scoring boring?
It's not. That's what you just said.
It's my type of hockey. I told you.
I said low. I said this series is going to be low scoring.
On our recap shows and After Dark.
Anyway, we don't really have much time to process this series because we
had a damn day.
We should get MVP. Caesar gets the MVP for round 2. We should get the MVP going into this round, man. We're grinding.
Holy shit.
Man, all the content out here.
Like, and it's
We'll be
funny.
live tomorrow.
Yep.
Live tomorrow.
Like,
You watch this in the morning, we'll be live the same day. Well, and into the next morning, because it'll be overtime. And then the next day. Every day.
Okay, it's going to be 5 overtimes. Each team's going to have 25 shots. The Panthers
Overtime here, gentlemen.
the Panthers are going to have 67 shots missed the net, and Carolina's going to block 50 of them.
Well, if you love analytics numbers in this series, buckle up. Get on Twitter. You know, there'll be a lot of people tweeting.
I hear expected goals for one freaking time.
You're going to hear a lot.
My shit.
We may have lost. We may have lost 7.
I don't care about the deserve to win a meter.
We may have lost. We may have lost 7-1, but we had the expected goals 4-2.
Then we're really gonna have Bob slander then, Kirby.
And you know you're gonna hear because he allowed one bad goal. You're gonna hear or one question. You're gonna hear it from everyone because everyone's got our eyes on this series. There's only 4 teams left now, gentlemen. So it's gonna be all these different media people tweeting out this, that, and the other. It's not just gonna be Panthers.
Oh, is it not gonna be like 2023 where people were like, "Oh, this is bad for the league"?
Let's wait for the John Buccigross message on the Mikkola slander, right? Because he doesn't like Mikkola, right?
Well, apparently he thinks Sam Bennett's a $10 million player. So
oh yeah, he's gonna be tweeting that out. Thanks for helping us out there, Bucci.
yeah, raise up that price because if he's 10 million,
Can you imagine what he's gonna react like when Mikkola gets his new contract extension or his new deal? He's gonna have an aneurysm.
Could be this summer.
Who knows?
like because Mikkola could have potentially 2 cups on the resume.
We can only hope.
Like cup tap.
But we have said everything, boys,
Yep.
but our prediction. I will start. I think it's Panthers in 6.
Kirby.
That's it from Cody. I said it earlier on our preview show. I was debating between 5, 6, and 7. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if we won this in 5 games, but everyone, that doesn't mean it's an easy series. It's more overtimes. It's 1-goal game.
The sweep was not an easy series. Each game was a 1-goal game.
If it goes 7, I said this last round too. I was kind of wrong. I don't think it favors us, but I am going to go Panthers in 6 on home ice. They got to win 1 or 2 on the road. They can't go down 0-2, Nick. I talked to you this off there. They cannot.
Oh,
I think
0-2 this time is.
I'm not going to be positive like me and Cody were when we were down 0-2 to least and tell everyone to relax. I might start to panic a little bit. We cannot go down 0-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes. They are a great home team. They're not going to give away games on home ice like Toronto did.
You got me thinking about
Panthers in 6.
I just realized I don't think Carolina's lost a game at home this postseason.
They have not. Carly.
I'm gonna go Panthers in 6 because I want to see it on home ice. But I don't want to say Panthers in 5 because I did that last time we went to a game 7. So, but no, I
That
actually
would
do.
be the 3rd year in a row on home ice, right?
Yes, it will.
Yep. Is it no? Because we won every series last year except for the Boston one on home ice.
Yes.
Could have won that one on home ice. Didn't fuck around.
Yeah, game 5. We almost got back to game 7 there. We almost gave it to Boston there, but
Well, we didn't. But anyways, gentlemen, anything else?
I think that's everything. Follow us post game.
Yes.
Twitter X.
Yep. We're gonna be live tomorrow.
And if when you're listening to this, we mean today.
Today.
Yes. I mean,
If game 1 is today, we're gonna be live tonight.
Yeah. And it might be the following day if the clock strikes past midnight.
It's an 8:00 game. We're gonna be live at midnight. I mean, I just realized if the Panthers
Red Bull.
if the
If
Panthers
I'm wrong and there's no overtimes in this series,
I'd be shocked if there are no overtimes in this series
be quite surprised.
because I haven't felt like the Panthers were going to be in many overtimes in the first 2 rounds anyway.
I'm with you there. Yeah.
But now it's like
Here twice, but this series
I just realized if the Panthers do win in 6, they will win. They will move on to the Stanley Cup Finals on my birthday. So
in 6.
yes, Game 6 is on my birthday. So
that we're agreeing on that then. That's good vibes. I feel good about that.
I'm glad you feel good, Kirby.
All respect in the world to Carolina for
Yes.
It's just the middle of the ice is just not good enough against us.
Yeah.
if we play to our level, I have full confidence we beat Carolina. Let's see if we go out there and do that.
Like, I'll be fine with. I'm good with a split the first 2 games.
Yes. With Toronto, it's more like humble them, like make them have doubt. I'm fine with a split in this series. And I was fine with a split with Tampa too. Look what we did there. We took 2. And I don't know if that happens here, but let's get 1 here. And then are we going to look good in game 1 off of no rest and just going off of
I think we'll be fine.
Excitement and energy and we've got our legs, or do we fall back and like, hey,
I find it hard to believe we come out flat. Because it's a routine thing. We're not waiting. We're going.
It's like the regular season at this point.
I'm hoping we play like game 1 Toronto in 2023 after that game 7.
Yeah, because that's the same thing. It was like one day, bang, second round.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to see. And remember, we saw that right away in that Toronto game in 2023. First shifts. Yeah. Nick Cousins, Bennett Tkachuk, just banging guys.
Stall activating.
Heavy. Oh, my Lord.
Masterclass game there. That middle pairing masterclass.
Now, you know when that was? That was this game.
Penalties 5-1.
Here we go. Game. Oh, I had a question. I know it's way off topic, guys. It's on the podcast here. The game that Maurice ripped into the guys, was that when Brandon Montour scored the overtime winner?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was a special night to me. I'll tell you guys.
The one in Toronto, correct?
Yeah, where he was arguing with officials and things. And when we lost to Ottawa and it turned our whole season around.
You guys are playing like a bunch of bitches.
and Keith Tkachuk called them out on the Ottawa radio station.
Yeah.
Cody and I were positive that season, but after that Ottawa loss, we're like, we got to win like 8 or 9 games here.
With Alex Lyon in net, because Bob said.
Yeah, Cody, the most optimistic people in the 2023 season. Even us, we were like, I don't know here, everyone.
Like, I don't know, Spaces felt like a job that season.
Yeah, who was paying us?
I was just like, and this was before I got paid. I'm just like, because fucking Captain Italian down there was like, I need a hiatus.
Adios.
My team, this team needs my mental health. Which, take care of your mental health.
Yes.
But with sports, your mental health will never heal unless it's for the championship.
No, jokes aside, everyone check in with your Leaf friends.
Yeah.
Family members.
Yeah, because
I will be next weekend.
I don't know. I got a
family member.
Like,
I will be wearing my Florida Panthers stuff.
Shout out our boy Zach Phillips.
What will that be? Game 3, gentlemen, next weekend on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll be a little bit away and tied up, but I'll be giving some shout outs to Leaf Nation that day. Got to get it in.
But anyway,
I'll be running into my family. Well, then you guys want me to say anything to them?
But anyway, I appreciate you guys listening to this episode of the Cats and Rats podcast. If you like what you hear, drop a 5-star rating on Spotify or drop a like on the YouTube channel. Like and subscribe as always. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen,
24 hours or so.
Basically, let's go Cats.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats.